This is a training video for pstif for editing their WordPress site. You'll see I'm already on the login screen here, pstif.org/wp-admin. You can access this from anywhere, any computer. You'll have your username and password in here. I've got mine already logged in and saved, but go ahead and plug in your username and password. pstif will be set up as an admin, so you'll see all the same things that I'm seeing here. The first thing you see is your dashboard. These are just some basic information about WordPress, how many people have submitted information to the contact form, some recent information. Nothing too big right here on this page at this time. What we want to do is start out with the home page. And so I've got a second tab here so we can see the home page and see where those changes are. To edit the home page is a little different than every other page. So we'll start with the home page. Because it's custom built, and there are 4 what we call buckets here on this page. Then there's also a tool here that will do some editing and help you out with, but the 4 buckets you may want to change. Under dashboard, you can go to theme settings and then home page. And on the home page, you'll see it's very simple. The left bucket, the top bucket, the bottom bucket, and the right bucket that corresponds to these 4 areas. So all of these are links at this point, and so you can type in the link title and where it should go. This is links to pages within the site. For instance, this one's called Tank-Insurance. None of these are, well, no, I shouldn't say none. There are a couple of external links. So there is a little indicator there if it's an external link that you can switch on if you want to give them notification that they are leaving the site. For instance, online policy management is an external, but technically they're not really leaving the site. This is still something controlled by pstif, so we haven't checked that box. And that's what that means. It's really if you want to give them a message that they're going to someone else's website. And so all of those links are there. You can hit this minus button if you want to delete one of those. Hit the plus button if you want to add a new row and a new link in there. And then it works the same for every other bucket. The bottom bucket does have text in it, so you can see there's a pretty basic editor there where you can type in or change text, or maybe there's a notice you want people to see right away. This might be a good place to put it in that text bucket. There's always also a title, so you can give it a title for each one of these. So that's editing those buckets on the home page. The other thing that you find on the home page is the Revolution slider. That is the sliding images up here at the top. Now, Revolution Slider is a pretty complicated tool in and of itself, but we'll do an overview here. We're happy to help out with any of these changes when they come up, but you can see we have 3 slides with these 3 images. If you wanted to change out a photograph and some text, I'm going to show you kind of the basics of that. There are lots of settings. Revolution Slider can do lots of things, but if you scroll down, you will see a change image button here, and that's the background image. In this case, that's this photo. So you could hit change image and select a new photo to drop in there. And then if you come down a little further, you see a lot more pieces and parts. This is one of the boxes that's on the page, and then there's another box here that has this background. Most likely you'd be wanting to change this text. So if you select that box, and you'll see that it looks like it's running off the side, it's really not. It's just previewing incorrectly. It's really only this width. It's just not breaking it like it's supposed to. This text is located right down here. And so you could retype that text, add something to it. There is a style sheet that you can change here to make it smaller or bigger and change the color and all of that. Hopefully all of that will kind of stay set and you'll just be able to change the text. After that change is made, you've maybe changed out the photo, you've changed out this. You can also move this box around if you want your text a little longer or shorter, whatever it is. You can move that box around, and then be sure every time to go down here and hit update slide. That will save it. If you don't hit that, none of your changes will stick. And so feel free on that Revolution slider to just duplicate the slides that are in there that already have the settings, because as you can see there are tons and tons and tons of settings. So if you just want to, when you go to Revolution slider and let's say you wanted to make an edit, you'd go ahead and hit edit slides. You see there's 3, and maybe you want to add a 4th one, just hit duplicate. that's the easiest way to keep all those settings the same, and then you can swap out the text, swap out the photo, and that'll be easier to do. I'm going to go ahead and hit close without saving since we don't need that fourth one right now. The next thing on the list would be editing pages within the site. There are lots and lots of pages with lots and lots of links within the site. So let's head over here. We want to click on pages, and you will see there are actually 79 pages in this site. They're all here in alphabetical order, of course, with the numbers being first. You can also search if you want to find a particular page. That's helpful in this case since there are so many pages. But they are listed alphabetically unless you want to click here by date. For instance, maybe you just made a page yesterday and you want to find it back quickly. You can hit the date button so that the last one that you did is first, and you can find those particular pages. So we're going to click on just one of these pages, Claim Procedures. And you'll see here again that you have an editor that has text in it. Not a lot of text on this one. The editor is pretty recognizable for most people, similar to Word, in that there's bold and italics and bullets and left align and center and right aligned and all of that. Most all the content in this site is left align. The one thing that you'll want to remember is paragraph will be the style you'll use most often. There are style sheets set up in the site, so whenever you bring in content, you want to select that content and make sure it's set to paragraph. That will make sure it's the right size, the right color, that everything's uniform. If you wanted a heading, let's say we wanted a heading right above that, you could choose one of these other settings. Now you can't see what it looks like. Unfortunately, WordPress doesn't work that way. But heading 3 would be a medium-sized heading. Heading 1 is probably going to be too giant. So heading 2, heading 3, you might try one of those out. And then if you preview that, you can see what that looks like on the front side. And you can see, yeah, it's a nice size heading. It's in between the title size and the paragraph style. So that's a good kind of middle subhead for a page. Also, you can see that these are linked. Whenever you select text, you can hit this link button and insert a link into a particular page. So let's go ahead and we're just going to select the heading for a sample and select this, and you can type in the page that you're looking for. That's pretty handy, and it will find similar pages. If I type in AST, it will give me all the pages with AST in them, which there are lots. So you could choose from it there. Maybe it's an outside link. You can copy and paste a URL and then paste it into that box. Either way works. Also, you may want to add a PDF. That's a big deal in this site. So let's say I put in a sample PDF file. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that text, and I'm going to hit Add Media because probably it's not on the site yet. I need to upload it. So from here, I can grab a PDF off of my desktop, or I can hit Upload Files and select that PDF. I don't have a PDF on my desktop right now, so I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my media library and just choose one that's already in here. And make sure here, see this title? Whatever is in this title field is what the title of that link will be. So in this case, I'm going to call it Test PDF, and I'm going to insert that into my page. And sure enough, there's a link to Test PDF. Let's go ahead and preview that page. And you can see there it is, and it is a link. So when I click on it, it takes me right to that PDF that I just attached it to. So that's how you do that. There are also sidebar buckets, and what we mean by sidebar buckets are there are a number of spaces that you can add additional things in. In this case, it's related links. We call that a sidebar bucket. And so these can be different for every page. And on this page, the title is Cleanup Requirements, and then we have a list link is what we're calling it. That's what it is throughout the site. Now it could be other things, but these are called list links. It's just a list of links is all it is. Very similar to the buckets on the home page in that they have a title and a URL of the page that you want to link to. You can add and subtract those with these little pluses and minuses. And then when you're done, Oh, sorry, one more thing. We can enable additional sidebar content if we want. And in that box, we get another editing box just like we had up here. So in this box, you may want additional text. Maybe it's something else that they need to know, other helpful information, or what we've been using it for mostly is to add a photo. So in this case, we'd hit Add Media again, and we could choose an image rather than a PDF and insert into that box. And now that image is going to show up below our related links. So as you can see, now I have an image down here. So that's a way to get an image on the page in that little side spot there that's sort of reserved for images. When you're done, one thing that you have to remember to do is save, and in this case it's called update. So hit that update button. When you do that, the page will be live, it will be published. We're also looking into the breadcrumbs right over here. This parent drop-down tells you where this page is located. So what you do is you have to essentially tell the page where it's located. Whether it's under claims procedures or claims FAQs, that will help the breadcrumbs be correct at the top of the page and give that full detailed lineup of where this page is located. So you might want to also be sure that you set that before you leave. Hit the update button and the page will be live. I'm not going to hit it in this case, obviously, because we don't want to make those changes. The one other thing that you'll probably use regularly is the menu. So if you go up here to Appearance and Menus, we're going to leave this page without saving. It's warning me that we haven't saved. This is the structure for the navigation bar at the top for these guys up here. These can be added to or rearranged at any time. And so that's what this is. You can see that the main ones are Home, Take Insurance, Claims and Cleanups, About PSTIF, and Contact Us. They're bumped all the way to the left, which means that's the main navigation. These guys are all of the navigation items underneath Tank Insurance. So they can be moved around just as simply as dragging and dropping. If they get bumped out, that means that they will go to the main navigation at the top of the home page. So be careful about that. Same here, they're all underneath these headings. The most recent pages that you just edited or created will show up right here. Excuse me. So you'll want to check mark those and add to menu. They always go down to the bottom, so be sure you look for them down here at the bottom and then drag them up into place wherever they go. Or maybe you want an outside link. You can type that in the custom links field. And let's go back here again. Maybe it's not a recent page. In that case, you need to hit View All to see all of the pages that are available within the site, or search for that page. Again, when you add to menu, it will get added to the end of the list and you have to drag it up into place. When you're done, be sure to hit Save Menu or it will lose those changes. So that's about it. That's the overview of the main options that you'll be editing on the site. Feel free to call Firehouse Design if you have questions at 893-6937.